Welcome to Le Podcast de Philippe. We're doing a deep dive today into a recent study that's got people talking. It highlights how French students are feeling a little less prepared, shall we say, for the rise of AI compared to other countries like Spain, Italy, and Colombia.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. It reveals some really interesting differences in how students are engaging with AI across these countries, particularly when it comes to how confident they feel and their outlook on the future with AI.
Yeah, one of the things that kind of jumped out at me right away was this difference in how French students are actually using AI. Like over 60% of students in Spain, Italy, and Colombia are using it pretty comfortably, at a user level at least.
Right.
But for French students, that number is only 60%.
And the gap gets even bigger when you look at students who can actually create and apply AI tools.
Right.
Only 21% of French students said they had those skills compared to 32 to 35% in the other countries in the study.
So it's not even just about using AI apps, right? It's about understanding the tech behind it and being able to actually build with AI, adapt it for different uses.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big difference. So is this gap in every field of study in France, or?
Well, interestingly, the study found some variation. For example, 74% of French engineering and architecture students said they were already using AI in their work. That was the highest of any field.
Wow.
On the flip side, only 32% of French arts and humanities students said they understood AI applications, and that was the lowest of all the groups.
So it seems like different academic disciplines are approaching AI integration in very different ways,
Yeah.
right? Like there's a real chance to kind of bridge that gap and make sure all students, no matter what they're studying, have like a basic understanding of AI.
Totally. And, speaking of gaps, another key takeaway from the study is how students actually perceive AI and the impact it could have. French students tend to link AI mostly with task automation, which, might be why they're more anxious about losing jobs.
Yeah, it makes sense. If you mainly see AI as something that's going to take your job, you might not be so excited about it. The study found that 43% of French students think AI is going to lead to massive job losses.
Yeah.
That's a lot higher than those other countries, right?
Much higher, yeah. In the others, it was more like 30%.
Yeah.
This difference in how they see things might come down to a pretty big training gap. 73% of French students said they'd had zero AI training, compared to 61% in Colombia.
Wait, so Colombia actually has a higher percentage of students who've had AI training than France.
That's surprising.
It is. When you break it down, 39% of Colombian students have had some AI training, while only 27% of French students can say the same.
Oh.
This difference in access to education is likely shaping how students think about AI and maybe feeding into that anxiety about the future.
It really makes you think how much of this fear surrounding AI in France could be addressed if they just had more exposure, more training.
Exactly. And this lack of training impacts their confidence in adapting to an AI-driven world, too. Only 40% of French students feel confident in their ability to learn AI.
Wow.
That's a lot lower than the 65% we see in places like Colombia and Spain.
So there's a clear link between training confidence and outlook. But even with these worries, it seems like French students at least agree that AI should be part of their education, right?
They do. Despite their concerns, French students, just like their counterparts in other countries, agree that higher education should include AI in the curriculum.
Okay.
What's interesting, though, is that they see AI as less relevant to what they're studying compared to students in those other countries.
So they get that AI education is important. But there's a disconnect when it comes to seeing how it's practically applied in their own fields.
Exactly. And that's something educators in France really need to address. Showing students how AI isn't just some abstract concept, but a powerful tool that can solve real-world problems and drive innovation in every field.
Yeah, it's about showing how AI can be applied across different areas.
Yeah.
And it's not just theoretical, but something they can use. Absolutely. Bridging this gap in perception is key to unleashing the potential of AI in France and creating a more optimistic view among students. And, to tackle this challenge and others, the study makes a few recommendations for making AI education better in France.
Oh, that's good. So they're offering some solutions, not just pointing out the problem. What are some of the key things they suggest?
Well, first, they focus on giving teachers more comprehensive training. Making sure educators really understand AI will be key if they're going to confidently teach it.
Makes sense. You can't expect teachers to teach something they don't fully get themselves.
Right. The study also stresses how important it is to create stronger partnerships between universities and companies.
So bringing real-world AI applications into the classroom.
Exactly. By having more chances for things like internships, apprenticeships, even collaborative research projects, students can actually get experience and develop skills that are relevant to working with AI.
So bridging the gap between, book knowledge and what the AI workforce actually needs,
Hmm.
I bet that would also help students see how valuable AI really is.
For sure. And speaking of practical applications, the study suggests significantly expanding the AI courses offered at every level of education.
Oh, so not just master's programs, but integrating AI into the curriculum much earlier.
Yep, starting early is key. And it also means creating more specialized vocational programs for different industries. We need a strong pipeline of AI talent, starting all the way back in early education.
Sounds like a multi-pronged approach is needed. But what about those anxieties we talked about earlier, that perception of AI as a job killer? How do we address that?
The study really emphasizes raising awareness about how AI can be beneficial and trying to counter that pessimism, showing the positive impact AI can have in healthcare, environmental, sustainability, even the arts.
Right, so shifting the narrative from AI as a threat to AI as a tool for progress.
Exactly. And don't forget, AI isn't just about automation, it's also about augmenting, enhancing human capabilities, and opening up new possibilities.
So highlighting those new job opportunities too.
Yeah, painting a more balanced and optimistic picture of how AI will shape things. Now, beyond these specific recommendations, the study pushes for a bigger cultural shift in how France thinks about AI.
Interesting.
It's about having a more proactive and positive attitude, embracing what AI can do instead of being afraid of it.
Yeah, moving away from fear and recognizing AI as a societal change that requires us to adapt how we think and our education systems.
Right. If France wants to stay competitive in the global AI scene, it needs to make AI literacy a priority and create a workforce that's ready for AI.
And while this study is about France, the challenges and opportunities they highlight are relevant everywhere. As AI keeps evolving, every country will need to figure out how to prepare its people for an AI-driven future.
It's a global conversation and one we all need to participate in.
It feels like AI is becoming so integrated into our lives. What skills do we need to thrive in this AI-driven world? Is it all about coding?
Well, technical skills are definitely important, especially for people developing AI. But this study shows that a broader set of skills are going to be just as important going forward.
Okay, so besides coding, what else?
Critical thinking. You need to be able to evaluate information spot biases in data, understand the limitations of these systems
Right.
to really make smart decisions.
That makes sense. We're already seeing so much AI-generated content.
Mm.
Being able to figure out what's real and trustworthy is going to be more important than ever.
Exactly. And along with critical thinking, creativity and problem-solving skills are going to be highly sought after. AI is going to be taking over routine tasks, but those human skills, thinking outside the box, connecting ideas, innovating, that's where we excel.
So AI is pushing us to be more human, to focus on our strengths.
Right, and we can't forget communication and collaboration as AI becomes more common in the workplace, explaining it to people who aren't tech-savvy, working in teams, building trust in AI systems. Those things are going to be vital for success.
So it's a mix of tech skills, critical thinking, creativity, and communication. It's not just about being tech-savvy, it's about being human-savvy in an AI world.
Well said. And if there's one big takeaway from this, it's that AI readiness isn't just about learning specific skills, it's about embracing lifelong learning.
Because AI is constantly changing.
Right. What you learn today might be outdated tomorrow. The ability to adapt to new knowledge and to constantly upskill, that's what will be essential.
So a growth mindset, being open to new challenges and seeing learning as an ongoing journey.
Exactly. And that's where things like Le Podcast de Philippe are so important. You're making AI understandable, and you're giving people the power to take control of their own AI education.
Well, thanks. We're all about making AI accessible to everyone. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this deep dive, help us spread the word. Subscribe to Le Podcast de Philippe on YouTube. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers today. With your help, we can do it. Join us as we keep exploring the amazing world of AI.